There's an arms race in the NL East. And today, I'm going to tell you why the Mets need to sign Collin McHugh.
The Mets are the world champions.
What is up, you guys? I'm Anthony Metro. Welcome to the video. Thank you for clicking on this. Before I get started, please be sure to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content. Also be sure to look out for my podcast, the Anthony Metro Podcast, which you can find on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Just this week, the Washington Nationals added Will Harris and re-signed Dakota Hudson to add to their bullpen. Earlier in the offseason, the Atlanta Braves added one of, if not the best, relief pitcher on the market in Will Smith. In addition, they also signed Darren O'Day and added Chris Martin as well. If you watched the Mets last year, you know the Achilles heel of the 2019 Mets was the decrepit bullpen. In his first offseason as GM of the New York Mets, Brodie Van Wagenen was tasked with fixing a 2018 Mets bullpen that finished 28th out of 30 teams in bullpen ERA. So Van Wagenen pulled off a huge trade and acquired the AL saves leader Edwin Diaz from the Seattle Mariners. He also re-signed Jeurys Familia, Justin Wilson, and Luis Avalon to bolster that group. Only things completely backfired. The Mets bullpen was again among the worst in baseball, ranking 25th out of 30 teams in ERA. Both Edwin Diaz and Jeurys Familia had nightmare seasons. Diaz's earned run average climbed almost 4 whole runs. He gave up 15 home runs, the most of any relief pitcher in baseball, 10 more than he had given up in the previous season, and in 15 less innings pitched. Jeurys Familia returned to the Mets after a solid second half with the Oakland Athletics in 2018, and he had the worst season of his career all across the board. The Mets also had to rely on middling relievers like Paul Sewald, Jacob Rom, Daniel Zamora, Chris Flexen, Tyler Bachelor, among many others. Despite the additions, the Mets still managed to be one of the worst bullpens in 2019 yet again. They ranked 25th out of 30 teams in ERA, and it actually was a drop higher than in 2018. For those of you that don't conform to the traditional stats, their FIP was also extremely high at 4.75. This suggests that even accounting for bad luck, misfortune, or just poor defense on the Mets' part, their relief pitchers were still among the worst group of relievers in all of baseball last year. So, yet again, Brodie Van Wagenen was tasked with fixing the Mets bullpen heading into the 2020 season. The Mets re-signed Brad Brach to a deal early in the offseason. They then, of course, went out and signed Dellin Betances, which you can listen to right here on the Anthony Metro Podcast. And as tremendous as bringing in Betances was, the Mets still haven't addressed their depth heading into the new season. That is why the Mets need to go all in and sign relief pitcher Collin McHugh. Collin McHugh was actually drafted by the Mets in the 18th round of the 2008 draft. He debuted as a starter for the Mets in 2012 and pitched in 2013 before he was traded to the Colorado Rockies for Eric Young. McHugh was designated for assignment by the Colorado Rockies after the 2013 season. He would later be claimed off waivers by the Houston Astros. In 2014, McHugh had his breakout year. He started 25 games and had a 2.73 ERA and a 3.11 FIP. In 2015, McHugh won 19 games with the Astros and actually finished 8th in AL Cy Young voting. In 2017, McHugh missed a large chunk of the season due to elbow and arm injuries. It was a major blow to the Astros rotation, as he made only 12 starts. Heading into the 2018 season, the Astros inserted McHugh into their bullpen. There, McHugh shined. He had a 1.99 ERA and a 2.72 FIP. He struck out 92 batters in 72 1/3 innings and walked just 21. Overall, here are McHugh's numbers from 2018, pitching solely out of the bullpen. In a surprise, the Astros reinserted McHugh into their starting rotation for 2019. But through 8 starts, McHugh had 3 wins and 4 losses. He had an ERA north of 6, and he had given up 9 home runs in those 8 starts. He also only got to the 6th inning in 4 out of the 8. McHugh was removed from the starting rotation and placed back into the bullpen, and again he found success as a reliever. The rest of the way out of the bullpen, McHugh only gave up 3 more home runs for the rest of the season. His strikeout numbers climbed again, and in 32 2/3 innings, he had an ERA of 2.67. It is in my opinion that the Mets need to sign Collin McHugh to say that they have actually addressed the bullpen and the bullpen depth. Adding Dellin Betances was great and wonderful, yes, but if Betances gets hurt, they really didn't improve their bullpen at all from last year. They'll be having to rely on big bounce backs from Edwin Diaz and Yuris Familia. McHugh is the best remaining free agent reliever with the signings of Dakota Hudson and Steve Cishek this week. After taking a deeper dive into the numbers though, I think McHugh should have been getting a lot of attention from the very beginning of this offseason. I did research on a few free agent relievers, and I compiled some of their statistics. Here are the 5 free agent relievers that I examined. Brandon Kintzler, Hector Rondon, Collin McHugh, Yoshisha Hirano, and Robbie Erlin. This sheet is comprised of their age, the innings they pitched in 2019, their ERA, their FIP, the difference in ERA to the FIP, their walks, hits, innings pitched, strikeouts, walks, K percentage, and lastly, the inherited runners scored percentage, which is the inherited runners that they would get when coming into a game and the percentage of them that scored, the hard hit percentage, and barreled ball percentage compared to league average. McHugh's ERA, of course, was adjusted to only display his relief appearances and not include the 8 starts that he made. Most impressive to me about McHugh is his low hard hit percentage rate and his barreled ball percentage rate, which is the lowest of the people in that group. I want to give honorable mention to Yoshisha Hirano, who actually had some very good numbers there. As you can see, he was the only one that had all 3 of those extra stats that were above average highlighted in green. So the Mets can only carry 13 pitchers on their staff. Right now, it appears that all 13 of those spots are occupied. However, the solution in my eyes would be to sign Collin McHugh and use Robert Gsellman's remaining option to start him in AAA Syracuse. By adding McHugh, the Mets will have improved their team in many ways. They will be adding an elite reliever in my opinion with the statistics that I've exhibited in this video. Secondly, they will be replacing Robert Gsellman, who, let's face it, has not been a good reliever so far in the last 2 seasons. Here are Robert Gsellman's numbers as a reliever from 2017 and 2018. However, and this is the last benefit, there is one place where Robert Gsellman has had major league success, and that was as a starting pitcher. In 2016, Gsellman debuted as a rookie as a starting pitcher, and he was a huge part of the wild card run that the Mets made. I know he only made 7 starts, it's a small sample size, and I know he pitched poorly as a starter in 2017. With Gsellman stretched out as a starter in AAA, the Mets will be 7 pitchers deep in their starting rotation. It will also prevent them from having to go to the likes of Brooks Pounders or Corey Oswalt immediately, as well as the other names that I mentioned earlier in this video. We already know one of Steven Matz, Rick Porcello, or Michael Wacha are destined to pitch out of the bullpen this year. It also appears that whoever that is, he'll be the first man up in the case that the Mets need a spot start. But what if that one guy is thriving pitching out of the bullpen? Wouldn't it be unfortunate if an injury occurred and the Mets had to disrupt that? Wouldn't it be a luxury to have a pitcher in AAA that has the dual ability to pitch out of the rotation or the bullpen? For all those reasons, I think it is essential that the Mets sign Collin McHugh if they want to say they have truly addressed their bullpen. He has proven to be one of the most effective relievers in baseball over the last 2 seasons, and it would immediately give depth to the Mets rotation and bullpen. So, what do you guys think? Do you want the Mets to sign Collin McHugh? Do you think that the Mets are good to go with the current group they have, or do they need to sign another reliever? Let me know, guys. I want to hear from you. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more videos, as well as the Anthony Metro podcast. Thank you for watching. I am your host, Anthony Metro. Let's go Mets.